All right, so next thing, let's talk about conditionals in Bash. Okay, you know, we have the if statement, other things like that, but we have the conditionals that go inside them. So let's go ahead and make a new script called conditionals. Conditionals, make sure I can spell. All right, user bin env bash. You should know the drill by now. I'm gonna right quit this file, chmod +x, give it the executable bit so we can run this file. There's nothing in it, but it runs because it's a bash script with no commands in it, so it'll successfully do nothing. Pretty cool. Let's do some stuff here. Let's say a equals 2, b equals 2. We have two variables. They're set to 2 and 2 respectively. We can check if $a equals $b, then echo a and b are the same. I'm going to use single quotes around this. Technically speaking, you don't need to quote this. I'll just show you real quick. You could put double quotes here, you could put single quotes, or you could put no quotes around here. Double quotes are useful because they will allow variable expansion inside it. Single quotes are useful because they will not allow variable expansion in it. Not quoting your strings is great for quick and dirty hacks, but if I do things like multiple white spaces, as I showed earlier, it'll be lost. So if you see me not quoting things that I give to echo, it's because it's quick and dirty. Otherwise, you should be using double quotes or single quotes. In this case, we're not expanding any variables, so I'm going to opt for single quotes. So we'll put we'll put a phi there, phi, if backwards, whatever you want to put there. So there we go. I have a simple command here. Let's go ahead and run that, and we can see that $a and b are the same. Oh, I forgot I left the $a in there. Whoops. Let's rerun that. All right, there you go. A and B are the same. Hey, that makes sense. That's super simple. That's really easy to figure out. Let's go ahead and copy this. So we're going to change this to C and D, and we'll make this one 2 and this one 3. So they are not the same. If we want this conditional to work, we have to either negate this conditional. You could put an exclamation mark there if you wanted to, or you could just say not equal. A and B, they're not A and B. C and D are not the same. So again, this one should fire. This one should be accurate because they are not the same. And I'm stupid. I put $a. Yeah, this is what I get for copying and pasting code. So $C and $D. There you go. So I'll put the code back up here so you can see what I'm referencing. And then we'll run this, and we can see A and B are the same, C and D are not the same. That's good. That's what we expect. So we can use the equal sign, or we can use the not equal sign. Very similar to other programming languages if you've ever seen it. The nice thing here is that this double square bracket notation has a bunch of stuff in it. It can check things about files. It doesn't have to be logical conditions. It can be other things. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's reopen up conditionals, and let's add a new one here. We can say if -f file.text, then echo file.text exists and is a file. So -f checks to see if a file exists and that it's a regular file, so not a directory, not any other sort of weird thing. We can just run this and we'll see that it exists and it is a file because file.text is there. That's awesome. Let's RM it. Now if we rerun conditionals, it doesn't show up. It doesn't exist. Let's touch file.text. Let's put it back there and rerun it. Hey, it exists and it is a file. So this is the nice thing about Bash. You can do help test to pull up all of the things it can do. There are all sorts of things you can check. Like we're checking if the file exists and is a regular file. You have -e just for if it exists, -d for a directory, b for block special. Like there's a ton of stuff you can do. S is a cool one. It has to exist and it has to not be empty. So definitely some unique things you can do here. So another cool thing about this is these conditionals I've been talking about. Yeah, there's an if statement, but there's also a while loop. Like Bash has while. So we could say while -f file exists and is a file, sleep 1. So we're going to cause the program to sleep for 1 second. And then we're going to put a done down here. What do we need? We have, wait, why is this wrong? Oh, it's wrong because if you make a while loop, you don't put then, you put do. And then to close a while loop, you need done. This will probably trip you up. It's okay. It still trips me up. So let's go ahead and trash some of the stuff we have up here. So Shift V in Vim to highlight like this. I can move up and down, and then I just hit D and I delete it. So while that file exists and is a file, echo file is gone. So what does that mean? What's happening here? While this exists as a file, we're going to print that it exists, and we're going to sleep for 1 second, and we're going to go back to the top, and we're going to check again. So as long as that file is there and it exists, it'll still just do this. Now, why is that Why is that interesting? Because here's the fun thing. I'm going to pull up another terminal. It's a little bit small. I apologize for that. Let's go into foo and let's rm file.txt. We're not going to stop the program. We're just going to rm file.txt. And look, it stops. It stops because that while loop stopped being true. That file no longer exists. So these conditionals, these, double square bracket things, you can put them anywhere. You can put them in an if statement. You can put them in a while statement. Technically, bash does have an until loop, which is the opposite of while. So I could say until it's a file. So until that file exists, we will print that the file does not exist. And then we can say file exists. So until is the opposite of while. I rarely use until. I kind of just will negate a while. So I could just run this and it will say file does not exist, file does not exist, file does not exist. So again, same deal. Sorry for the slow or the small font size. I could touch file.txt and then that will stop that from running because it checks to see if file.txt exists. So yeah, until exists, while exists, if exists, they all take the same kind of notation. You can use the double square bracket notation for conditionals. But the thing is, they don't have to be like that, okay? You don't actually have to give it the double square bracket notation. You can put anything there. So I can say if, and then some sort of command. I could do if ls, then echo ls worked fee. So that works. I don't know why you'd want to do ls as an example, but this is just an example. So this is ls printing all the files there, and then it said ls worked. So you could put any sort of command you wanted to put here. If echo hi, so if we were able to successfully echo hi, then we'll echo ls worked. Well, that's kind of wrong, but if statement was true. So this is kind of useful. It's kind of cool. We could put an else here. We could say echo if statement was false. So we can kind of just know what's going on here. This is just a command. And there are two commands that are built into your shell that are super useful. Ready for this? True and false. True is a command. It's built into your shell and it returns 0. It just returns a successful exit code. False is a command. It exists in your shell and it returns non-zero. It returns a failure. So if we were to look at our conditional script again, we can see if true. So that should always be true. If statement was true. Hey, that's awesome. Let's modify this and change true to false. If false, then we should get false. If statement was false. So yeah, those two commands exist. They are there for you. This might seem kind of strange, but if you're on like a Linux system, you could do something like if apt get update, then we were able to update. Otherwise, something failed. Just as an example, you can just put commands in there to see if they work. So interesting, super useful, something to keep in mind. The flip side of this is also true. The double square bracket notation does not have to be in an if statement or a while statement. It does not have to be the conditional. I can just do it here. I can say, does file.txt exist? It's 0, so it does exist. It is there. If I remove file.txt and I rerun that same command and then I check its exit code, it was 1. It does not exist. So you can just run these like they're commands. You might see people chain them like this. It exists. So that failed. We could touch file.txt, rerun it, and it works like this. You'll see people chain them like this. Something to keep in mind that the if statements don't necessarily have to have the double or single square bracket notation, and the double or single square bracket notation does not necessarily have to be in an if statement. You could use the single square bracket notation here, or you could even use test -f file.txt. These two, I personally stay away from unless I'm writing a POSIX or Bourne shell script. I always use the double square bracket notation when in bash. It is a bashism. It's only for bash scripts, but I prefer to use it. It's more robust and it has more, it has better parsing rules. So more things how do I put this? Less things can go wrong if you use the double square bracket notation. So if you're going to write bash scripts and you need to use some sort of conditional, stick with the double square bracket notation. It'll just help you avoid weird problems in the future. And there's more stuff there to use. There's more conditionals to test with.